ready to do my stuff that's on my schedule to do today. Got my maps out about an hour before I should probably start doing that. I got to do push-ups, abs, triceps, curls, and jog walk and my walk. And that'll be it. Another day, uh, just day to day to day, waiting for an entire species to die off. That's it, self-terminating. Obviously, it's got to try to keep incorporating me into its uh, nonsense behaviors, and that has to have a meaning in a God sent delusion that keeps them calm and ensures their complete extinction. So, obviously, people with the level of dementia that's going on all over the internet are not controlling the nuclear material. But what happens is because they're primates, they all begin to pretend that they are. Just like they pretended they were running a court on Facebook. They were running an election on Twitter and Facebook. They were running a courtroom on Facebook. That's why you can appeal decisions, just like they did with Social Security. You probably had those law judges that thought they were psychiatrists and medical doctors. It's part of profuse mental insanity. Clearly, these things' brain matter is not functioning like it did before 2011. So they think they're in a new age and stuff. And then I don't think they think anything anymore. It's just urges that they have a right to live out because God loves everyone and they're all completely grandiose and they're Jesus Christ and they're John the Baptist and they are Mary, just whatever it is that their insanity, brain, psyche believes. So, well, on this Bill Woody Facebook, that they're actually not supposed to be able to shut off, and they were already doing that thing last night about Post anyway, just as an FYI. So anytime anybody makes up a new social media platform or pages for hostages, they do the same thing. They don't live by any laws. They don't live by God's law or your laws. Okay? They're just deranged animals that God is killing. So, as I reminded on that page this morning, your governor here in what you're calling Massachusetts on my land, which is fine. You're allowed to do that till you all depart off of my land. That's not a problem. And you use my star symbol and stuff, that's fine. While keeping me hostage, and that makes sense. Your governor is ordered all of your hospital and your medical facilities to be closed. So, ignoring that reality by continuously talking about migrants, whatever. As you can see, things that sort of point to any type of reality in ending a hostage situation, they don't want to talk about. They're forced to talk about it. And you can see the separation now between the local news and them because eventually people stop listening to them because they realize that they have dementia. It goes beyond a difference in how to deal with something and people that are gone mentally and won't stop doing what they're doing. They begin to finally realize that the game has to come to an end because it's beginning to affect their lives too. So clearly, when your elders tell you that the game is over, it's supposed to be over, so they're killing you all to end the game. That I have nothing to do with. I'm not part of your behaviorisms. I'm a different species. Okay? And probably people that are sort of regular Neanderthals that don't have that much brain loss, they don't understand what the hell's going on. You just go, they're deranged. It's something that species always does. Okay, so another thing they do, I pointed this out in from January to March of 2022 when I was forced to sit and lay down 24 hours a day for 2 months straight. they will get up and do a pretend walk like a literal gorilla, because that's a behaviorism apparently, where the dominant lays down and that's the signal that they can pretend to be the dominant. They're not allowed to turn into the dominant. They have to kill the dominant to turn into the dominant. But they can pretend they're the dominant. And then when the dominant stands up, it becomes a game to them that the dominant swaps them down. So you have animals that think I'm a dominant gorilla and they won't stop it with the blocking as I'm waiting for them to finally die. It's truly that sad. They're horrifyingly ill. Okay. So it wouldn't matter the words out of my mouth, because when you are doing that behavior, you've clearly lost a lot of brain matter. Okay, so it's just a matter of natural death, someone showing up, handing them a fentanyl drink, because it wouldn't matter what they think is insane at that point when you have a gun pointed at your head. Because some people do have firearms, they have tracking systems, they have a badge, they have a military uniform, and it's just, this is the option. You drink this or I shoot you dead. So how do you want this to be for your family and your burial and stuff? Shrapnel. You were deployed overseas and something terrible happened and the family gets a flag and a medal. So anyways, that's got nothing to do with me because I don't have any children anymore. And from my viewpoint, you murdered them a long time ago, and it has something to do with all of this. They've probably been gone since at least 2020, if not before then, because it seems like it was way worse in Florida. Okay. And then all the stuff with the fake Facebooks and stuff, when you start doing that, it indicates that you murdered them. And I already saw the fake Facebook pages. So that to me means that you murdered them, and then some of you tried to depersonalize into them, just like other people. Okay, so that is what happens when you're gone in the brain and you're murderously insane. Just like this business with that Brian Buchanan person, it was fully displayed exactly what I felt God was telling me. In real life, I saw it happening. And they literally will not tell you that a person has died, because in their insanity, they are them. Okay? So that's the reality. So I'm like this, just it is what it is. I'm doing my job that God has me doing, that's been going on for now 13 years, where you have a population of extremely sick primates that are going to bury all of their children in the ground, because it's anything but not keeping me a hostage. When I am 52, going to be 53, I have a tubal ligation and I'm in menopause, but that will continue to make sense as they self-terminate. It's a complete self-terminating species that's gotten obviously worse over the course of at least 100 years. It doesn't function in any way like a regular Neanderthal or primates. So it scientifically, well, we wouldn't know that because unless we were here and other species speak our language that we can understand, we wouldn't know if there was ever another species that had a thinking mind and what God had to do to get it to self-terminate. So it's a wonderment. So yeah, some of the stuff that is going to sound out there like everyone's Janis Joplin, we're all one love, and that person isn't dead. You touched his penis, so he's in a womb. He's in your womb somewhere for rebirth for 9 months. Like all that stuff that that person was saying, just oh yeah. Even the stuff that dude himself was saying was fucking out there, right? So, well, you're talking about people. It's indicative of what's in their brain matter and what God has them doing to keep them calm and to reduce their impact on other people and then their psyche, right? And you just go, whoa, okay. Whoa. Here comes the. So last night it was another flare up of it. Uh, I explained to it after it shut off the Facebook and demanded 6 months. You're not getting that. You're being put down. The radiation ends when you literally die. Okay? There's a whole kill zone set up because the housing is needed to move more people into it. Okay? Because they're not going to be able to drive. And this whole entire transition plan, as I told you from the beginning, was given to prevent literal starvation, and the plan will go forth. Your governor told you that all of your hospitals and medical facilities will be closed by any means. I explained on the thing some of the things, how if people that have the means to do things, I'm sure they already know. Usually that stuff is just to confirm to them. Uh, okay, so let people that know how to deal with all those materials and stuff do it. Uh, right, it's just all you'd have to do is peg out the garage, and the whole facility has to be shut down. Right, it's just the building has to be evacuated, and then they just burn it to the ground. So if you're still having an issue with people trying to hold people hostages in these medical facilities, so like a house, like a fortress, like a fort in a war, right? Because you don't want people having that type of a hostage situation, and you were already told it was going on. Okay, so that's all that they would have to do. It sets off the sprinklers. They already explained to you about hospitals being evacuated. That's what people are doing. It's in order to get those people out of there, and the building has to be uh, torn down by some of them. If you in Massachusetts, if the people are listening to your governor and it's different than other places, and they haven't gone that batshit insane, like calling people up in a hotel and trying to hide them from people and fighting to the death, like they believe they're being attacked and shit, um, then you won't have that. But if you have people that ill, then that's what will happen. So if you see those things on the news or whatever, don't become alarmed. Okay, it's because the people running the facility are sick, and they're literally holding people hostage in hospitals and medical facilities. Okay, so the public has to know that it's not safe to go into those places, like I explained about Faulkner Hospital and this Aspire place. Like it's not really safe to be entering the buildings. I know at Aspire they have a literal guard. The door locks and you can't get in or out. Okay, so that's you can't have just people in the public just showing up there not realizing what's going on. It just you're in a state of emergency where you're being bombarded with nuclear material, and so you don't need to worry about hospital visits right now. That is what happens when you're quote unquote in a state of war. Not you need to be alarmed. It's just you'd be more alarmed if you didn't know that and you went into the building. That could be why she was barred from entering the VA. They could have been having an issue like that already. That's why they were met at the door by people and said no. Um, so unfortunately, that message wasn't getting through. And then I dropped this Brian Buchanan person off at one of them. And then right, for all I know, he's being held hostage in there. Okay, it's that problematic. It's just like at the shelter when you call there and they tell you I'm not there, and you know I'm there. Okay, you know I'm there. They probably did it with Alyssa, or if Michelle ever went calling around trying to find her own daughter, who was only 19, by the way. And what they probably did, because people would go right to Quincy, because you can't stay in the building during the day, so they started moving them to that hotel, not to protect them, to hide them. Okay, so that's pretty serious. Okay. So anyway, apparently that situation ended. You're being told it, regardless of what they're trying to tell you, that won't be a functioning shelter. That's why it's a day shelter. They were probably told by the state and the governor already that you're not to have people sleeping in these beds. That could be why there's a discrepancy between their website and then some sort of a video. Like you even had a senator visit there and go, "You're not running this as a shelter." Like, I don't know how that building ever completed construction. I'm sort of shocked. That's probably what if Elizabeth Warren visited there, that's probably what she said to the staff. I'm a little bit befuddled how you actually got this building built when you were told that you weren't completing the building. You were given the money to get you to release hostages from a hotel. Okay, so right, just who's coming here? Migrants, not U.S. citizens. Okay, no more U.S. citizens at Father Bill's Mainspring. Right, there's shelters in Boston, correct? Okay. So, anyways, the business with the shutting off the Twitter and stuff has no meaning. Okay, just like standing in front of an oven going, "We're on a lockdown," has no meaning. Don't overthink dementia. There's not a way to reason with beings that sick. It's been like this for 4 years. Uh, After what happened in 2022, no, they're not. Right. If you started thinking in your mind they're doing this stuff on purpose, like they're pretending to be the evil empire, like Japan and Pearl Harbor and stuff, they're not. Okay. They have nothing to do with the thermonuclear weapons. Okay? It's just, I contemplated that myself when I started doing this in July because I had had enough of it. Okay. So, like I put on the other thing, there is no possible way that you can even see that Facebook page, right? That's why I was calling it an internet prison. Just because I could post on Brian Buchanan's page like I was him doesn't mean I was lying about being in an internet prison. So, you people straight out can go fuck yourselves. I'm done with it. Right? Absolutely fucking done with it. Just never in a day. Just you're all gonna fucking die out there. You, like I told you, Colleen, Michael, all of you fucking people. Every single one of you. That's why you're housed out there. So don't bother calling 911 if you start vomiting or whatever. You know what it is. Just tell yourself it's norovirus. I was watching a video last night that some guy put up. Apparently, you get that happens to you, but then your body will recover from it. Right. It seems like you feel better, but you clearly are going to die from cancer within a year or two. Okay. Well, you folks, that's different than where I'm standing. From my point of view, it's pretty bad out here now. I don't think unless the body, it's possible that the body stops reacting to it because the immune system is being destroyed. Um, I've never gotten to that point except that time I was in that shelter. Okay, so it doesn't matter how many SNAP food cards you shut off. We're not going back to fucking Quincy because we know that you're in a kill zone. Fucking retarded animals. I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to visit there. You'll get no fucking further communications from me. Right. You people all have a fucking safety area that I could have been put into. You don't give a fuck about anything but your drugs and your alcohol, and you're just deranged animals. Can you see me on YouTube? Okay. You people, go fuck yourselves and die. Not I show up in Quincy and you start fucking attacking me because I called some fucking disgusting animal a pedophile, which I didn't even fucking say. Okay? Clearly, if a dude is like helping a 20-year-old get alcohol, he's a fucking pedophile. That person is not even old enough to consent to sex. Okay? Fucking break. I know you just go 6 weeks with the person and lying in a bed and have to listen to this fucking shit in my ear, and I'm not allowed to infer that the person thinks he's a fucking pedophile. Why does he continuously tell you people that he was 13 screwing a 14-year-old and he won't stop talking about it? Fuck yourself. Lay in your own fucking vomit and shit and die. You people don't pay anybody's fucking rent. You don't drive. Get the fuck off my land. Like, if I could just go out there myself and drive a fucking bulldozer and bulldoze you right into the fucking Atlantic Ocean, I would. But first of all, right, we need the infrastructure, but eventually, I don't know what's going to happen because as they showed you overseas, eventually they'll just start fucking tearing that shit down with you in it. Fuck anyone cares. It is just a pile of people that no one wants roaming around out here. No one wants that. We all have, God loves everyone. We all have a purpose. Do you? Do you really? What is it? So clearly, dying off things don't want to chill out to trap music in the afternoon. Okay. Just every time that, yeah, because it's an urge of a monkey. That's why. Those are monkey urges. Everything with the migrants, anything that's irritating. That's why I said this morning ago, it would probably be, it's a whole process of what God does. But say that God in 2011 went, hello, it's God. This is the deal. Um, you had to be this age because it's the whole course of events. You have 3 girls, 3 boys. I have this thing, Marie Laveau, the blood of Mary, XXX. I have a statue set up with the finger, okay, and the 3 boys and the 3 girls are waiting for the Freddie Mercury's next baby. And clearly, no father. Because he's a disgusting animal. So I need, what's going to happen is they're all going to, because you're 39, they're going to just completely kill their own children and bury them in the ground because they're envious of how you look. Before you even talk, they're going to do it. Okay, because I've made them believe they can, because there's a thing called the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Agreement that will be kept. Okay, so they're being tricked into taking over the United States of America and then trying to kill you repeatedly to initiate that. And then they're just going to bury all their children in the ground and die. So what they will do is they'll do all this weird stuff, and it's very emotionally irritating. Okay. Like, because I've made them think that that's going to do something because they're animal behaviors, but I'm containing them. Obviously, I'm almighty. And so they'll sit at a computer and every once in a while they'll shut off a snap card. They'll wait for you to scream into a fucking camera to try to arouse by it. They'll shut off a Twitter and then go around elated and smoke a bunch of drugs and stuff. But I am not allowing them to cause a war. Okay. Which is typically what they do. Okay, and this bunch of people are diseased. It's not a regular monkey, but here's a bunch of videos. See how they keep trying to do that? Okay, so, and how they go like this and they watch each other, and that means anything that the other ones do is okay. They literally believe that. Okay, so, and then it will become so sad and pathetic because you'll age and you won't, you had your tubes tied in 2002, so there's no way they can breed with you. Okay, and it's like by now obviously they've already murdered your children, and so 13 years they're still doing it and they don't know anything else to do. Like, I've made them actually believe there's some importance to stopping you from doing things that actually has a meaning. Okay. Here's George Papad. I guess that's the one person that you can actually here. Right, here's George Papad. See how he's pretty much looks the same. Okay, so that's why I call it an assignment. And then you're going to have deranged animals that just keep copying your verbiage. You're going to get an A on this assignment. Okay. But because the children are sort of like the same thing as you, it's like a delusion that God set up. That those are boron shields and they're safe here when they're in a complete kill zone. Oh, this came up yesterday, which I kind of already remember this from some bit of social studies and stuff, that you clearly have a lot of British people living in what's called India. And I explained how try not to get sort of caught up in that because it's almighty and it's sort of like being placed through her. Um, all that sort of really matters is basic genetics and the fact that they're so grandiose that they will breastfeed and not vaccinate. I mean, honestly, truly, that's all that really matters. And then they will die. And they will never believe that that's true. So it all works out. Like they just all went to a safe zone. And then somehow it's my job to stay here and do this for no reason. So it is what it is. And it'll all work out fine. So clearly, like in terms of genetics, yeah. Um, white people get a tan sometimes. It doesn't make them a different ethnicity. I mean, there's one from 2020 that they had to delete, like they're allowed to delete a video rather than killing me. Yeah, just talk about hot. I don't know. How old was I? I was almost 50 then. I don't think I was 50 yet because that was 2020. Right. So I was like, what, 49? Just with the weights. I know you just go with the humongous liver and kidneys still in after birth and 6 kids. That fucking hot. With the tan and stuff, you go, whoa, what is this? Your extinction? Do I look like a different ethnicity there? So I'm right. If you've never met anybody straight out from India, I would say most of them look like me. Yeah, so not we're exterminating the white race, as you call it. Most of them look like me. Like, wasn't there a whole thing where basically Britain took over the place? Okay. And like I said, all that forced breeding and stuff is being, I know, like, I'm sure that people that are deranged in the head, they think there's not going to be any more white people, and they don't look at planet wide statistics and who's actually dying from the cancer, like who has the bad genetics. But they'll believe anything. Yeah, like it's all about looking at what they see around them and what's on the TV. I have no idea. I mean, I would think you'd have a whole array of stuff because it's like um, having a swimmer's body one time, having like a tumbler's body another time. Like I would think there'd be some sort of that, but I'm not the creator. If it's important to people, sometimes you have to wonder why it's important to you. Right? So if you don't know people from literal India, you just look like me with the tan. I've worked with them. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of blondes and redheads over there. I am sure. It just has to do with military deployments, work. Uh, this has been going on since at least the 1960s to put people into the ark, as you call it. So it's almighty. Just happened out in the kill zone. I mean, the whole land piece is a kill zone, but the kill zone currently, it's just like that. Yeah, just the people actually allotting the houses don't have to be aware of what they're doing, and I would say they're not aware of what they're doing because they are not nice. They have like a hatred towards me, but it's almighty. They can't think a thought that God doesn't control. All right, so I got to go get my soda. these things in line. Yeah, I'm on another thing where I cannot look at your news and stuff anymore until this insanity fucking ends. And so, uh, obviously, when people become annoyed enough, this will be put a fucking stop to, just like I said. So, someone knows who's doing it, clearly. So I don't know what the fuck the holdup is on that. If people think that that person's printing them fucking money or something, I have no idea. How you would believe that beings that have dementia that bad are printing you fucking money. But, anyways, like I said, clearly this thing is different than the telephone. From what I would say is that someone made up a fucking fake Facebook on Note One, and that's why you can't locate it and find it. Okay. Not I keep going out to Quincy, and because I already basically proved it. Okay. That's why, if you were wondering why I showed up in Quincy in March, I would say that that's what God was doing. That's what I feel he's saying to me. Okay. Because everybody that peeked into the thing during the John Dubbin stuff up in Washington, D.C. in 2022, and when Aaron Carter was still on there, okay, the second that I said that Aaron Carter was going to die, his family announced that he died, and that put an end to that. Okay, so sometimes when I say something, it happens because I'm a fucking prophet. So I don't care what you think is you don't take fucking orders from me, any of that. I really don't give a fuck. That happens enough times. Clearly, either you are taking fucking orders from me, or it's God is explaining it to me to tell you. Given my background, I would say that's God talking. Okay? So it's called a fucking prophet. Nothing goes on planet Earth that Almighty God doesn't know about. Okay. So apparently this thing is fucking disgusting. Okay, like I explained to you. And it believes that all these different behaviors that take place beckon me out to fucking Quincy, and then I interact with disgusting fucking animals, and then I come back and I muse about it and write a years long of fucking stories for them to observe and masturbate to and all of that for their fucking entertainment. That, yeah, exactly. Why were you told by the nation state of Israel and probably Russia that this was about the cancellation of a music fest? Why were you told that? Because it's Almighty God. Never fucking ask me again why they don't just say that. I've explained it to you several times. They don't run the fucking show just like I don't. Okay? And they could have aphasia. They don't want this to end, but God's forcing them to utter the fucking words. Okay? So either they are part of it or they fucking figured it out too, or it's just God explaining it. Just like God explains everything, like the face mask, the ACE inhibitors. I don't think anybody on planet Earth knew what the fuck was going on. And then I explained to the other facet of it how these things can never be freed. They revealed themselves and they have a persona, hence a face mask. Okay? In October is when these things shut off a fucking medical disability and did a whole round of this other fucking insane shit about, we mailed your social security to the wrong address again, blah, blah. Get it? Okay, well, I do. So people are burying their fucking children in the ground for things that have been doing that for 13 years that has no fucking meaning at all. Okay, so the second, everything in 2022 was, they started going in and removing the Wi-Fi adapter from a fucking laptop. I didn't have a fucking phone then. Okay? They'll do it on the phone too. That's what I'm telling you. But they went in and started shutting off the fucking, they removed the complete fucking adapter from a Wi-Fi. So I couldn't even pick up Wi-Fi fucking signal. Oh, yeah. And then, oh, isn't that funny? Everybody yell into a thing and put a short up on fucking YouTube. No. No, no. So the second that I went out there in March, this fucking ended. How does that magically end? And why is there a page that it can view that nobody on fucking earth can locate? Enough is enough. Clearly someone knows who's fucking doing that. Okay? So anyways, that's why it allowed shit back on a laptop. Just like it opened up Twitter again. So it could go in and shut people the fuck off. It opened it up because it thought I was going to come back here and start talking about people in fucking Quincy. And they're going to be characters in it. There was probably people showing up there saying they're homeless. They're not even fucking homeless. Every time people go, oh yeah, I guess Fran and Linda are coming back, because they think they're fucking characters in a play I write. Anyway, they're gonna start yelling too because I'm yelling. I'm probably like not helping out with that, but that is probably why Benjamin Netanyahu started talking about that, right? And then apparently the criminals, because they're so fucking insane, anything that anybody says, these criminals think that they're going along with it, and that's all part of a fucking thing. It's not all part of a fucking thing. So anyway, someone's gonna put a stop to it. Clearly attempting to shut me off and shit and fucking kill me is not going to solve your problem. Okay, folks? Really. Make your situation worse by the fucking day. We're going to put him in jail and then they just fucking bomb your house? Okay. Whoa. Yeah, just fucking whoa Nelly. So anyways, that was their response to a assault weapons offense. You just dig yourself a further fucking grave at that point and enjoy having no winter at all, just nothing but ionizing radiation, and then tell yourself you're doing it. And then shut off a thing and go, okay, now it's 6 months. Nope, no, it's not. So they'll get it this year. Right. So anyway, you didn't initiate me going to Quincy last March. Nope. You did not initiate that by shutting off a fucking snap card and shutting off my communications. So we're still not at the transition plan, so we're waiting for the rest of these people to fucking keel over and die. So in order for that to be hit home, apparently your governor has ordered that your medical facilities be closed because people are not getting it, and then you have animals running around thinking they have a right to put on scrubs and stuff. So there'll be a different way to figure out what to do about the dying after that. Okay. I explained it. They're telling you they're going to rapidly train people basically to give out palliative pain medication. The guy from Good Morning America, in my opinion, and like I said, you can't. I don't have to keep saying stuff to people that are clearly about to die, right? That's just how they want to handle it. That's their business. I'm glad to have that on the airwaves for people to see, to somewhat come out of this. There's always a hope on my part that this will end for me, obviously. I mean, is that weird? Okay. So it's called a hostage, not a prisoner, as Benjamin told you, and Wolf Blitzer, because I'm not a criminal, so I'm not a prisoner. They just didn't want that terminology used. You were told to approve every stipend, and I'm sure, I mean, really, how many years does it take a destitute woman to get housing and some sort of a means to live? It's been 13 years, so you've got to be put in the ground. Whatever that's going on in the brain matter, some people, like I said, might want to know if you like even if you were making a new government or something here, can you explain to people what that is? What is the new government you're doing? Because we're not having a society, as you call it, where you hold a woman, because after me, you'd have to pick another person, where you hold a woman hostage, okay, in a room, and then every year you send her into an arena where she interacts with you, and then you force her back into a room and she does nothing but write about it. Okay. And then for some of you, you're actually trying to set up a private viewing area for yourself that other people can't even see. You're that sick. So uh, I would say that most people don't want that. And I know that Almighty God isn't going to allow it. So it really doesn't matter what most people think. I don't go around taking a poll at this point. All due respect to everybody that can view this. All due respect. Um, I'm just informing you because you've clearly lost so much brain matter as a people. There's no way on God's green earth that an almighty God would be allowing you to do it. It seems like you're being allowed to do it, and I just explained it. Okay. It's the person who keeps texting me wants me to keep explaining what an arton is. I don't know if the person has aphasia or, okay. Um, it's basically you're a different species, okay, but you have some sort of processing brains, and you believe that you're the same species as me, apparently. Okay. But like in your species, there's different sort of like fractions based on what we look like. Okay. And you came onto my territory, okay, and you won't get off of it. Okay. You were told that, or I was told that you would be here for 350 years, that God was allowing that, not your gene mixing. That might have been something you thought you were doing. You can't gene mix with my species. You can't actually gene mix with another species. That's a kind of like a delusion. Okay, so that's not what it was. You just were here burning fuel. Okay, so right. Because you have a processing brain, God came up with a way for you to self terminate in the calmest of all ways that you could, given your population and your propensity towards violence and your hatred of my species. Okay, so that is what you're doing. I call it an arton. Um, so, yeah, believe it or not, you God just forces you to actually self terminate. And it makes perfectly sense. It makes perfect sense to you as you're doing it. Well, again, that's a good question. He is actually giving you plagues. Like if you said, why wouldn't he just give us plagues? He is doing that. It's part of the brain plague that's separate from the thermonuclear weapons. Okay, he is doing that. Many of you have other medical conditions. Okay, he is doing that. But if you didn't have thermonuclear weapons, you would be more sort of panicked, like you displayed to me in 2020, all over the planet, apparently. I mean, I'm here and I have this fake TV box that I'm not even really allowed to watch. If it's not a live stream that it allows on a laptop, I don't see it. So that's part of the problem. Whatever this is, started out probably with some sort of profound insanity. It was already profoundly insane by 2020, right? 2014 is when the email was posted to Twitter. Okay, so right, we're talking profound insanity about being able to control reality if it can affect my belief. Okay, so whatever these beings are, they literally believe that I make reality. Like that's their interpretation of a prophet. Okay. I make reality, and they can alter the reality. If they can alter what I think, that alters the reality. Okay. So Yeah, I mean, I can just tell from the words and phrases. I don't know if there's a lot of like a Buddhist doctrine that these beings didn't understand when they were studying it. They don't know what that means. So, I mean, clearly, since the summertime, they've had eye a horse, and they're still doing this. They still believe they. I don't know if that's it maybe the creator God, or I don't know. Maybe I'm doing a mind trick, and it's not actually there. And you got to talk. I'm talking profound mental insanity. You'd have to listen to someone like her talking, and then you just go, "How is the person actually saying that and believing that?" So, yeah, that's not what Buddhism is. It's a scientific teaching that was left so that at this time, Almighty God, not just Mary, but this is me, so I can talk about Mary. It doesn't mean I'm claiming there's no other my species on planet Earth. That's illogical. But I'm the mother of that species, as far as I know. So I'm the oldest. That's why I'm doing this. Okay. So God goes, all right. Here's the next bit of thing. And then I go, what the hell is this? How could anybody ever think that that means that? Okay. Budding, what's it called? Viro- virology, budding. Okay. Yeah, just this insanity about Buddhism and the awoken one. I am awake, not awake. I explained that years ago. I am a wick, a prophet, not I am awake. This is awake to everyone since 2011 and 2012. Not we're waiting for people to wake up. Okay. I am a wick, a prophet. Okay. So what is this? Okay, this to my understanding means budding, like in biology. And then some of it has to do with noble gases. And you go, if there's one truth, how do you have four truths? That doesn't make sense. So it means something else, correct? Something doesn't make sense, it means something else. There's only one truth, right? That's when they go, well, no, there's all these different truths. Okay, so there's all these different truths, but you're the same species as me? No. What is the correct thought? Until you have the correct thought, you can't have any type of speech that I need to hear in my ears, quite frankly. What's the correct thought? Never gonna happen. Dudes and dudettes, I've been doing this for years and years and years and years and years. Okay. If you were in a lesson to learn how to be me, why are your brains dying? That's why I asked. Are you believing now, including your children, that what's going on, that Jeffrey Dahmer was correct, and so everybody's having their brain matter melted, so then they can be taught to be human beings? You're a different species. It that has nothing to do with the psyche. You're getting worse and not better. You would be becoming more like me and not less like me, and acting like literal primates in a jungle. That's your psyche. Yeah, right. You could go, I could start having major cognitive loss, but I'm not acting like a primate because I'm not a primate. I'm a different species. I explained it. So, anyways, I don't believe that it's actually a music fest. It's just, why did you allow all of Mary Lagoa's some of the stuff to come back up on the laptop after completely getting it down to 10-minute YouTube videos and commenting on my own video, and then you would put a prompt up every time blocking me? Why would it go from that to at one time, quote unquote, everything back up and running? Two Twitter accounts, two Facebook accounts. live streaming, Rumble videos. Why would you do that? Okay. You have profuse, morbid mental insanity. So they're putting you down. Okay. I mean, I'm sure they've known that for a while, but clearly they were told in 2011 to stand down, and they're not being told to stand down anymore. I told you that. So things do change, and sometimes things change rapidly. In 2022, you were told by your military to stand back up, that there's not a stand down order anymore. That doesn't mean you're going to see troops fighting in the streets. They have thermonuclear weapons. They don't do that. One day with a firearm, forever unarmed. Does that mean they can't show up somewhere and shoot someone dead if they won't behave themselves? Of course not. It just means it's not they're out there and who would they kill? They don't have to figure it out either. They don't have to figure it out either. So things that I talk about, God will explain it to them, and things seem logical, and they go, "Yeah, I guess that does sort of make sense. Why would God allow her to be sent up there? Why would God allow her to be repeatedly sent out there like that for 13 years? Why would two federal offices be set up right there? Because they weren't there. There was no DTA office, and Social Security was in another location within the city. So it was all set up as a trap for people that have to be put down. They're the quote unquote enemy. And then all the way that the housing was distributed, the way that the incomes have been being distributed, it was all, that's all almighty. So it's a really perfect, just, they're right on the coast. They can't run anywhere. They don't want to because they've lost so much brain matter now, and most of them are on drugs and alcohol. They all have they've got entertainment. They got a friend out there. They all have sexual partners, and it's just easy for them to interact with each other. And who cares anymore? Like, it's a whole process of dying that God contains them. It's supposed to be happy for them anyway to go to their heaven. So it's not really that insane. It's not warm enough to have the windows open yet, but I'm sure I'm going to want them open after my jog walks. Is it 10 already? Crap. All right. I got my leggings and my sneakers on. So I guess I'll probably be wearing leggings on my walk. I wasn't even thinking that, because if it's going to be 50 something degrees by the time I leave here, as long as I leave here by 1, because I don't have to shell anything. So is it making sense to anybody that you would have the National Guard in Broad, because he's got his TV on? Is it making sense to anybody that you would have the National Guard in Brockton, Massachusetts to run a high school? What do I think? I'm not sure yet. I don't like to think. I like to receive information rather than try to think, especially during this time. Okay, so honestly, yeah, I mean, things that are logical doesn't mean that's what they're doing. 2 5 Pentagon. I would think it's a ruse, as they call it, so that the public still remains calm, and it's a reason why you have uniformed army personnel in Brockton, Massachusetts. Okay. Um, they may even drive school buses around. They may drive school buses around. They may be in a school, um, stuff like that. That's an explanation for why you see them there because they are running Brockton High School. If you have literal minors that violent, I know that is very concerning. But yeah, that is very concerning. So me personally, but it doesn't mean that we'll see what happens. To me, that's so that the public they believe any excuse because they want to. Okay, so there's no reason for anybody to be not calm. Okay, there never was any reason for anybody to be not calm since the fall of 2010. Okay, um, it comes down to this. I mean, people, if they could begin to write things down, I think that would be helpful. Okay. Like, because when you realize there's something kind of really, which would seem, I guess, scary without God's intervention, I think it's helpful to write things down, like when you access a Holy Bible, that type of thing. Okay. Like, this is your panic survival manual. Okay. Just the panic urges, that's a biological stressor, okay? And um, you're just being transitioned to another form of life. We can all presume that, okay? And so, because it's dragged out so long, I guess maybe it seems not that, but it literally nothing has changed since 2011 when I began doing this. It was sort of the end of 2010 I began doing this. Um, all of those Facebook pages and Twitter accounts, other people destroyed, which is unfortunate because that could be accessed and presented to you to explain it to you. It's not like a new, none of it has actually changed that I'm aware of. Okay. She's doing that thing about get out of her house, call the police, and it's the same thing. Right. It's because of the time of year and stuff. It's like they don't even have to be aware that it's springtime and stuff. It's like bizarro. But it's like this. It wouldn't matter what time of the year it was. It's all based on Mary Lagoa's snap card is off. It's like, what the fuck? Because it's been all different months of the year that's happened over the course of 13 years. It's a whole like series of each and every time. Each and every time. It's like weird. So, anyways, again, Almighty. Um, she's gonna have to get up and go and get in the wheelchair. It's got to be every single day. It's just some sort of a difficulty getting her up and in a wheelchair. Once she's in the wheelchair, she wheels herself around and stuff. She'll even grab her own sodas, grab her own food off the table. I observed it yesterday. Right. It's just a matter of each and every day, he's probably got to physically pick her up and put her in that wheelchair every day. I don't know what goes on with diapers and stuff, not my business, but just, anyways, that's probably what, like I said, it's God. God will explain it to me. I'm going to have a little bit of my soda before I start my routine. Oh, that's a lot of lime. That's right. When I was having my second cup of coffee, I put my whole bottle of soda in the freezer to get it cold somewhat. So I know all these years, and now there's literally nowhere that I could even put an ice tray in the freezer unless I can fit it next to the thing that he puts his ice in, which is supposed to be an ice maker. If I could get one, I know you just go, all these years I've never been able to obtain an ice tray to just make ice. It's like, Jesus to God Almighty. So, anyways, the Brockton High School. Okay. Uh, wasn't I past that? Wasn't I talking about something else after that? Anyways, if I had to be like asked what I thought something was, I guess that's what I would think something was, and then if it ends up being correct, that means that God told me. Okay, that's how I explained it to the psychiatrist in Orlando that wouldn't allow me into the psych ward. Okay, so if you're not used to people talking like that, it could be an indicator that you have mental illness and you don't actually know any actual psychiatrists. And it's people have become so mentally ill, it's like good luck finding a board certified psychiatrist anymore because they probably Exodus 20 and you're holocausting them too. I was told you were removing doctors off of Twitter. Okay, right? It's just uh, so. There are people who can actually keep track of things that quote unquote I said and wrote, and not what other people said I said and wrote. And they go, "Oh my God, what the Meganese?" Yep. So, anyways, I think Benjamin Netanyahu is aware of Operation Pillar Cloud, for example, and who exactly told you that Israel would be destroyed on Thanksgiving. Okay. I think someone somewhere on planet Earth is aware of that. That doesn't have complete brain loss at this point. But you're not the one who said that. Oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. Like that was like the beginning of realize how sick people can get. Okay, who did say it then? Someone else gave you that prophecy? Okay, why was I charged with neglect? Like I'm meaning that I'm so mentally ill, I'm dangerous to my own children. If I'm not the one who said that, like, how did I end up here in the first place? Why am I not in my house in Florida with my children? Because someone's reported me to the Department of Children and Families in Claremont in Lake County, Florida, with a whole pack of lies that Almighty God allowed for your total and complete extinction. So one of them was that I said that God was talking to me and telling me things. So what did I say that God was telling me? Israel shall be destroyed on Thanksgiving. Tanks on the Sinai, surface to air rocket launchers in Syria, a map. Say that there was a priest from St. Mary's Church in Dedham that recalls me entering there not once but twice, and once with a map and having 2 conversations with him. Would it still not be I'm the person who said that? Say that someone had a Bible that I left in Claremont, Florida, and the word Thanksgiving was highlighted, and then I would assume it's Book Daniel, where Daniel and his friends obey God and stuff like that was highlighted 13 years ago. Would it still not be me that said that? Okay. Okay. And then someone said that I said I was psychic, and I don't even believe in psychic ability. Richard, do I believe in psychic ability? Okay. I don't believe in psychics. So I didn't say I was psychic. Someone else said that. I guess you could, because that was one of my questions. Can you both be saying that God is talking to you and that you're psychic? You could if you're mentally ill. If someone conveys to another person a dream and the other person goes, did you report it to them? Does that mean that I said I was psychic? Oh yeah, just how are you people this fucking insane? I remember, I haven't forgotten my fucking life. I don't make up an alternate life for myself. I told Alfred I had a dream that her house was on fire in the basement, that I had 2 of them. He goes, did you call her and tell her? And that means that I said I'm fucking psychic? Okay, so clearly there's people that were already that sick in 2011. If someone tells me on a telephone that I'm a witch because she entered a house with an electrical cord that had burnt and was dripping shit into a basement, and she felt her action in remembering or whatever what I said caused a fire not to happen, does that mean that I said I was fucking psychic? Okay. Did I say World War III? Okay. How is saying World War III neglect in the state of Florida? Can that be explained to the fucking American people how that's cause to do a DCF investigation on a parent? Saying World War III, what was the other thing? The end of the world is coming. Went on a walkabout in the other part of the country. We can't go on a walk in another part of our fucking country. That's put on a DCF neglect investigation charge. So you folks up here don't give a fuck about that. Okay, so you don't get protections as Benjamin Franklin was it told you? Because you don't even believe in the fucking US Constitution. You're batshit insane. That's cause for a DCF investigation? And forget the part about the man that won't fucking divorce me. He doesn't have an ulterior motive, him and his fucking chart. $160,000 a year in permanent alimony in a 17-year fucking marriage and 6 minors. They don't have a motivation to fucking lie and get rid of me. Fuck you. You and your fucking crack pipes and your fucking Adderall and your disgusting open fucking legs and your fucking tenting and your threesomes. Fuck you. Not used to meeting a literal fucking mother and comes up here and I gotta fucking intermingle with you fucking things? Fucking die. Every single one of you fucking maggots took housing knowing that this shit was going on with me. Never stop using. You have no reason to ever stop taking fucking drugs or drinking. You're in a complete fucking kill zone for a reason. That is why after last year, that is what I felt had probably happened. And it makes perfect fucking sense. Not you're part of me or you're God's chosen people. That was the only reason why God allowed me to keep going out there, because that long of a period of time of interacting with a fucking woman, and all of you people, every single one of you, right down to fucking Patrick, went, so you're not my species, okay? And age is a very long time. And you can't do your personas. So you people are located in the right fucking place to be euthanized. And then people that are not that disgusting will be moved in there so that they can be closer to food. Like I told you, there are people that are families that don't go, I got to have my own room. Okay? They don't do that. They just need fucking housing because it's New England and it's going to get cold come next winter. We would hope to God we'd have a fucking winter again. Right? Just, it's sort of like me, but they don't want to live with people like that, and they shouldn't have to. I was even willing to stay in a room in a rooming house. Right? You just go, it's a fucking toilet, a shower, laundry facilities, a way to fucking cook, heat. Oh yeah, just this is the guy even told me himself. They show up at Father Bill's Quincy and they pretend to clean because they have people living there that have to fucking clean their own bathroom and shit. Okay, right at the shelter, they show up and pretend they clean. The guy even told me, and they gave them a full on fucking apartment out there. Okay, you're in the kill zone for a reason. Darlene even told me, and her herself, she's sitting in an apartment right in Quincy. Remember that? Oh, I'm not going to come out here anymore because she thought she was going to get a room through Father Bill's place. And then she was in some sort of an apartment with Dave. She shows up at a shelter trying to get a new boyfriend and then goes right into another apartment. She moseys right into the shelter, goes right up and starts bragging to people about how she talked to Taylor and Taylor put her right in the bed. And I'm sitting up in a fucking chair all night long. Because what was it, her apartment's being inspected? That's why she's sitting where she's sitting at. Okay? Unfucking believable. And then, and you could see, right, all she does is do drugs. She's like falling over, fucking intoxicated. You can do that in an apartment on Clay Street until you finally die, all due respect. And she informs me that Holly, who took work and went right into a fucking apartment, pays $30 a month to live there. And she's going to lose her apartment. She's not going to lose her fucking apartment. No. None of you are losing your fucking housing, okay? You're being put the fuck down and buried in the fucking ground and forgotten like the animals you are. Can you see me on a live stream on YouTube? Good. So anyway, in terms of spiritually, I don't think they have the brain matter to process. But obviously, if people wanted to interview these people, this is not the 4 days to be doing it. So it's going to be this till April 19th. That was announced last night. They asked about 6 months. They were immediately told that wasn't going to happen because it's winter, and you were told this was going to happen all winter. Okay? Spring starts on March 19th. They started doing fuckery with me last night, so now it's April 19th. Because I was out in a kill zone last April, and that was okay and fine, and you people will make it too. Okay? They give you 2 and 3 day breaks, and then your body gets a chance to somewhat recover, and then there you go again. Because it ends when you people are dead in the ground. And I'm not standing right here. I'm not laying on the ground. I'm in a fucking housing, and I have a means to live. It's called the fucking income. And then it ends. Okay? So every time you ask, maybe write it down. When are they gonna? When we're dead. Okay? We need the housing units. Got a whole bunch of people waiting to go into some form of housing. Okay? Not into Father Bill's place, yucky fucking way. We have no interest in that at all. None. I'm not interested in having a caretaker. I'm not interested in becoming fucking Wendy Williams. That's why all that shit's being explained to the public. And the whole public that's not depraved like that goes, yeah, these people got to die. I'm sure in New York City you have a kill zone too. Right, just these people have got to be put in the grave. Anybody that knows anything about these folks, just they're never going to sober up. They don't have any brain matter left. They have no desire to ever be sober. It doesn't take 13 years to get off of drugs and alcohol. You got people out in the suburbs that aren't going to be able to drive anymore. Okay, and there's no people available to keep bringing these people food. So they've got to be closer to food, because that's the only way anyone could ever supply food to them, like house to house, is they'd have to be clustered up like that. This was all explained to you. So clearly all those people out there with the drugs and the alcohol killing themselves are not part of a walking program of people that are going to walk food to your apartment. Okay? It's like this. I mean, people get depressed and shit, and these people that won't stop trying to kill everybody that's on foot, like myself, they will not stop trying to kill me, and I'm the pedestrian. Some of these people will eventually maybe come here from another part of the planet. But my species is not, excuse me, your species, and a lot of these people are your species. They're not you. Right, they're your species, but they're not you. They go, obviously, we have to give these people fucking food. They don't think like that, as you can see. They don't think you do have to do that. Okay? Straight out. I explained the whole thing in 2014. So, right, that's why they've got to go, because they try to kill everybody that's a pedestrian. Right? It's been going on since 2014. Everybody living here knows that. So you're not bringing people from another part of the planet. As willing as they want to be to help you, you folks have to die first. You're going to bring youth into a kill zone. You have to go first. I mean, youth? You're going to bring youth into that? All they're going to do is bring them up into their apartment, like that Jay guy displayed to me. Bring them, just like Shannon and Jay. That's all that's out there right now. They've got to be put in a grave. It's straight out fact. You're going to bring youth into Quincy, and then Jay and Shannon come with their crack pipes and force you up into a shower, and then Stoney comes and ass rapes you. And he's setting up sex parties for Katie's father. No, that is not fiction. That's what these fucking things just did when I traveled out there. I've never seen people that sick in Quincy. They have to be put into a fucking grave. Their end of life, just dregs of your fucking society, all put in a kill zone. So, just when you move people from the suburbs that lost their ability to drive, people like Laurie and Wilton, when you move just a rolling tide of the baby boomers and stuff into that housing, then you might get some youth coming here from Mexico and Brazil, and then they'll go out there and walk food to your apartments. Not with those things out there. So it's probably the same thing in Brockton, because they got a shelter out there, and they have been just shoveling piles of shit into housing for at least, 25 years? Okay, so just taking a pile of shit with the shovel off of the fucking streets of Massachusetts. You got one from Tampa there, and putting them in a bed in a room. Going probably all over the planet. There's probably people that are coming here from other places that they just go, yeah, this is like the disgusting underbelly of reality that they don't talk about on The View. we saw some of it years and years ago. If you forgot, they showed us videos of, like, I don't remember what country it was, but it was someplace overseas, and just people laying on stuff, and they're all high on heroin and shit, just piles of them. Remember that? Was it India? Ugh, God. It's like those people out in Boston Common celebrating that marijuana is legal because that's what their whole life is, to make marijuana legal so they can lay around getting high. Whoa. I don't know. Let me think. When I was young, what was life going to be? I wanted to go to New York City and take a bite out of the Big Apple. Nope, not Hollywood. I wanted to go to New York City. Uh, so clearly, I'm not really that much into film, although film is cool. But you go to New York City when you want to write or do dance, or I think I wanted to do dance. Right? That you don't go to Hollywood, you go to New York City. Okay, so anyway, when that didn't work out because of abuse and probably God, I decided to major in science and go to college because of the high intelligence. So, yeah, I briefly considered modeling. I went to Barbizon, it's probably just like Ron Goldman, and did that whole bit, and went, yeah, this is not my thing. I don't meet your. They want everybody to look like Barbie. That's what I gather. That's, if you're going to be a model, you have to look like Barbie. I don't know what they do with these other people. I'm not ethnic enough, or whatever it is. I'm not sucking someone's dick. I have no idea. Uh, but they don't want someone like me modeling. Let's just put it that way. Everything I did was wrong. Yeah, and just uh, the people that they seem to embrace. It was like just those blonde Bobby things that I don't even think are beautiful. You just go, okay, all right, I guess I'm not modeling. That's not a model. Just so you know, that's not a model in the 1980s. Okay. So, yeah, you just go, now that I'm this age, you go, that's not a model. Okay, no, you people were already sick by then. You were already sick by then. I've seen some of your models. You go, it's like Helen Hunt. Remember when Helen Hunt was supposed to be, who's the other one? Uma Thurman. Even Alfred was like, what's with this Uma Thurman business? I don't know, man. This is like gross. I am so tired of people trying to tell me that people that are fugly are beautiful. Tired of it. What am I looking at? I know, you just go, everywhere I go, I gonna beat people off like with the stick, but that's pretty. Okay. I enjoyed the show. What was that show she was on with that dude? That was a good show. Probably any female could have done it though, in truth. I mean, it was probably the dude that made the show funny. I don't get the whole Uma Thurman thing at all. Maybe people that worked with her to go, and they're not allowed to say that. You just go, okay, so this is all right. What are we doing? We're not actually hiring people that the public wants to see on screen. No. So anyway, I've been to a nightclub or two in my life. I think they would have liked to see me on screen. So, anyways, I explained it. You don't do this to a female. Okay. So, I guess, what is it? I guess by 11 I'll start doing my stuff. So, start doing my stuff. I guess I'm supposed to stop talking about, oh, what I want to do in my life. Yeah, New York City, blah, blah, blah. Science said that. Just not make marijuana legal. Um, just clearly, when people make statements like that, you can see their lives. You just go, okay, so really, academics is not important to you whatsoever. Okay, I don't know what they. I don't think they know. I don't think they know. It just really be much happier dead in the ground. I don't think they know what makes them happy. All they know to do is to keep trying to get fucked and keep getting intoxicated. And then I guess maybe buy a Swatch watch because I said it was cool. That's what a model is. Duh. Thank you. Thank you, Babazon. Go fuck yourself. Thank you, people. Nope. Hell the fuck no. Did you all start coloring your hair, Doc? Fuck you, Babazon. Fuck you, people. Clearly they want to see me on screen because why the fuck are they trying to be me? So I couldn't have sold fucking product. That's what a model is supposed to do. They sell a fucking product. Yeah. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. So, anyways, no, never in a day did I ever think I wanted to be a psychiatrist. Nope, never in a day. Nope. That's probably what happens to people. That's probably what they probably don't wake up and go, yeah, so let's see, um, I'm in 10th grade or whatever. I think I'll be a psychiatrist. I doubt any of them do it. Unless their father is a psychiatrist or they were raised by parents, they want to have a doctor in the family and they think that's the easiest way to be a doctor. It's not the easiest way. I would say a general practitioner is the easiest way to be a doctor. Okay, so, anyways, not a psychiatrist. They probably fall into it, right? It's like just that's their skill that they're good, and they realize they can't stand people like Dr. House. So, because you don't have to be like that to be a psychiatrist, because psychiatrists just you know how it goes. You see a psychiatrist every 6 months, and they are fucking miserable because all they're doing is writing prescriptions, and then it turns into nothing but fucking Adderall and Suboxone strips. You might as well all have the same name and you all talk to each other because I've met some of you. This is what you do: is you go in and you tell them this, that, and the other, and that you're bipolar. Psychiatrists don't know you're doing that. Are you tricking them, or they don't give a fuck? Okay, I'm reduced to this. Do we don't even have a fucking mental hospital anymore? Do you don't even have actual fucking criminals in here. You just have drug addicts and people that you thought were hot or you want them at a work farm. So I know you just go as a psychiatrist, I'm sure. I guess your only really recourse is now you've got to have weekly fucking appointments with some celebrity or world leader because they want to be perfect or something and they have money to fucking pay you. Okay. All right, so let me guess. You're bipolar, and in order to deal with bipolar, you need Adderall. Okay, and Suboxone strips. All right. No, I don't need you to suck my dick. Ugh. Okay, there you go. Bye. Maybe the law judge. Maybe he wants his dick sucked by people like that. I'm sure a psychiatrist doesn't. They probably have nurse practitioners doing it. Okay, all it takes is one drug addicted nurse practitioner, and everyone's getting a prescription. That's all it takes. as people around these people go, that's why I wondered if that's what happened at Faulkner Hospital. You go, is that your new girlfriend? If Maria could write prescriptions, she wouldn't do that. What about toilet? If she could write prescriptions, she wouldn't be doing that. All it takes is some disgusting cha that's a nurse practitioner. Oh yeah. I mean, sometimes in a sense you would wish there was a fucking recording device on these people, wouldn't you? Oh yeah. Just I need you to step out of the room and then go like this. Just like a typical sex offender. But I don't know what to do about these kids. Enjoy your prize. Just like I said. So, anyways, can you see me on YouTube? Awesome. So, in case you were wondering why you got housed out there, or housing at all, after interacting with me. Okay, so again, you can see that she's still not housed and has no income. And at the time, no phone. Okay. And this is all still making sense, right? Okay. More smoke? Isn't it supposed to be super warm? I see the sun's out. I feel cold, but I'll figure it out after the jog walks. At 20 more minutes, I can talk. Well, uh, Friday, right, is carb week. I'm fine. My digestive system is excellent. I'm not even having my morning nausea today. Yeah, so we are a go, go, go. Oh my God, that was so funny. I don't know, man. That part, everything is not a funny and a joke. It doesn't mean you're not being nuked, but that part of it was funny. I'm sorry. I'm sure it actually is a thing. It probably is a thing. Regular people don't know that, but somebody does. And then she typed, it's a go go. It's a go go? Okay. I don't know. Is that 2 grams of TNT or two, what was it, gilotons? I don't even know if we have that. Gigatons? Is that what it is? How do we find 2 gigatons of what? TNT? That's going to be a lot. Anyways, that shoulder thing's gone. There's like, yeah. One day I thought it was actually coming back. I just remember how she was too. I mean, clearly I have some of her genetics. Just apparently, when you go, well, some of it, some people on, do people on keto get dry skin? I just remember her, man. Whew. Yeah, I probably should try to lotion it up, but I mean, once the summer comes, I'll be fine. Just now that I'm in this menopause thing, I'm sure. Between menopause and being nuked, it's like just complete rapid aging. I watched it with Steven, and he is like, what, 15 years younger than me? Oh, yeah. Spooky. Just once your estrogen is gone, it's all over, I'm sure. It's like probably just completely downhill at that point. And you just go and add ionizing radiation to that. Goodbye, glossy glow. Yeah. No, I don't need to live to be 80. I am all set with that, just like Shea said. It's just, well, it's like this. You have to wait until God Almighty kills you. I mean, what are you going to do? Suicide yourself because you're old? It's not really like a choice, but it's like I got to do this until God puts an end to it. Yeah, just do 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 do. But I mean, it should become sadder and sadder at this point, right? Yeah. So it's a lot different for me now than it was at the beginning. So sometimes some things that people think they want, like I was saying that, like if people had a sense where they thought that they were, because I saw it with other females where you were putting female, you were locking females away until they were old or something. Okay. That's got something to do with your extinction. Like, do you ever get to the point where you realize what you just did is like profoundly insane and has no meaning? And now you're burying your entire families because of it. I guess in order to cope, you'd have to just take that as a satisfaction or something. I guess. It was pretty wild when you folks thought I had a boyfriend. Just people around me in real life, and then this stuff in here. It showed how deranged you are. Like it's weird to me for people to like do stuff is that fucked up, and then they still don't like. I don't know. Go, oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with me? That's embarrassing. Like nothing is embarrassing to you that you do. It's weird. You have no self respect or honor within yourselves at all. What you expect of yourselves, just to lose all of that and become just like embarrassing animals is not my reality. You have no dignity or honor within yourselves. So the things that are important to you are not important to me, and the things that are important to me are not important to you. Obviously, that's why people don't care about being sober. They don't care about weird morality issues, whether it's sexuality or all of a sudden deciding that you lie about everything to get things. Um, all you care about is yourself. You got to get yours. Um, anything that should have mattered to you, like you've got to be lying to yourself because you have a binder. So things that should have mattered to you in your youth and your lives, you have to completely pretend don't matter to you anymore. You've all got to become like that Brian Buchanan person. You all have to become like that, where you just tell yourself you're happy with what you're doing. You're all basic street bums with dirty long nails and no teeth and don't change your clothes or bathe. And any orifice is welcome, and anything into your orifice is welcome. And all you care about is smoking crack pipes and drinking and laying around. He doesn't even have children, but you've got to care. You've got to tell yourself that either that's some sort of special honor, or uh, you don't care about that either. When you told me that's what you cared about, you all went on this big tirade and presented all these children and grandchildren to me because you took my children. And so then you had to produce children, present them to me. That's what's important. Family. You had to keep telling me I don't have a family anymore. You destroyed my family, and then you've got a family, and now you're burying them in the ground. So now you have to not care about that. It either has to be an honor, and you're stoic and you're honorable, and it's your job to help other people that are losing children, or you go, well, yeah, in truth, I never really cared about having children, so just bury them in the ground. And hey, at least I'm not that married person who's got to be in the room or on the ground or something. At least I'm not doing that. Is that not the truth? So anyway, I'm not changing my PIN. I don't need your SNAP food card. Obviously, the one I have, I will use until it goes to zero, just like the income. And then you will finally see that you're not getting me back out in Quincy again, and you're not getting a music fest, but you're just being put down. And then finally, someone will remove all this shit from a fucking laptop, and I'll be back on a regular fucking internet like everybody else. We got a lot to delve into. We have nothing to delve into. That's why you were placed out there. I don't know where that went, but she thought she was going to get away from it after she probably realized what the fuck was going on. This isn't a good culture for me. Too fucking bad you're out there to be put down, Nazi. No one cares if it's a good culture for you or not. Hey, let's all pretend we're homeless and go out to a kill zone so we can interact with that woman and become famous. Blech. Oh yeah, I think I actually ate both of my jars of no sugar and no salt added almond butter. Remember when they were on sale out in the Dedham? Oh, that's right. No, I'm not doing that. At this rate, no. It's not a struggle of doing it. It's just when I feel like talking, and then it's like my job, but I've got other things set up. So I have to go 4 days of doing this, and then it's carb week. So I already have my chicken cooked for 2 days. I forgot to eat that friggin' fruit again. I ate a whole bunch of fruit, but it wasn't the fruit I was supposed to eat. So we'll try that again tonight. Um, I did the hamburger. I had that earlier in the day, and then I had the rest of my almond butter. I ate like 3 bananas, 2 oranges. Yeah, I ate fruit and almond butter, like I was saying. Maybe I'll do that again today. When I get back from the walk, I'll just do the chicken and the salad. I did actually take the greens. Remember when I didn't take the greens because I got all that lettuce? No, I did. So I ate. I still have some of it because I can't eat a whole bag with everything else in it. So I haven't lost a cucumber yet, by the way. Nope. So yesterday I had the last cucumber that I got last week. So now I have 2 cucumbers to kill. Because last week I got those European ones and 2 cucumbers. It was like cucumber bounty. I took the tomatoes from last week and added them to their stuff because I've got those tomatoes on the vine. I eat all of the grape tomatoes. I love grape tomatoes. That's my preferred thing in a salad, by the way. Yeah. The tomatoes on the vine, that's the type of tomatoes I used to buy in Florida. Uh, no, they're still not ripe, but I ate one of them yesterday and I'm still living, so. But yeah, that's the ones I used to buy in Florida because it remotely tastes like a tomato's supposed to. But these don't, but the ones I used to buy in Florida do. At least they did back then. It remotely tastes like a tomato should. Maybe that's why Candy Norm kept growing tomatoes. Yeah, because nothing in the store tastes like a tomato. It's just I don't know what that is, but maybe they're picking them before they're ripe or something. Yeah. So, anyways, we already had that miracle. I didn't have a phone to take a picture of it, where the whole entire garden was dead and there was 2 tomatoes. I swear to God, 2 red tomatoes on a dead vine. We already did all that. They don't care about nothing. They don't notice anything. Like, yeah, obviously I don't really feel like doing it, but tomorrow's high temperature may be near the record. Okay. So it's supposed to be 53 today, 57 tomorrow, 59 Wednesday, and then 35 on Thursday. Well, I mean, like I said, the time of the year, it's going to become pointless. Yeah, they will phase right into this is New England and da 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 da. The only time you can ever point out to these things that they're being nuked is in the wintertime. Even at 115 degrees, I think that part of dementia is not really having any ability to tell what that sensation is because the brain is dying. And it's part of them being kept calm. Um, like things get misinterpreted of what that is as the central nervous system is breaking down. Okay. Just like the hunger, they do it with temperature and stuff too. So yeah, and then they forget things. Like Nicole forgot that summer by what, April, May? She forgot that summer. So eventually they forget last week. So even though it was like 61 degrees in February, that was February, right? Um, by the next Saturday, they forget. Yep, they absolutely forget. So um, they'll just adjust right back into a denial. Yeah, so that's sort of for me and people like me, so we don't go mad, right? Because they're going to be in a constant denial. Because now we're going to be in March, and even though it's going to be near 60, it's March, right? So you'd have to reiterate over and over again how they didn't get any snow. You'd have to begin talking about like they were doing in was that Missouri? Well, it's either Michigan or Missouri. I'm pretty sure it was Missouri. About the ice and not getting any snow and stuff. So then they will probably convert that into global warming. Everything and anything, but they have to stop keeping me a hostage and that they're being euthanized with thermonuclear weapons because of it. They will convert it into anything else. It's wild, isn't it? Even when the man himself says this is happening because of keeping people hostage, they will still keep telling, they'll go, it's global warming. And then I felt like some of them will say it's global warming so that people don't have to use as much fuel. Okay. It's like I told you, even when you tell them it's going on, they will make up that that's fake news. That's a false flag. It's fake news. That's not true. Or that's for other people to be something or other. And we're supposed to do this to her or something, or she's part of a thing, or they're in cahoots. And you could be talking right to them, and it's just the average high, I guess, is 40 for today. That's the average high. The record high is 66. Okay, so like say that the air temperature is supposed to be like today without the nukes, it would be like 38 because it's not even March, right? So you could still, you're like at the flux or whatever, right? We've had snowstorms in March. It's Massachusetts. I know it's rare for that to happen in April, but It has happened, but in March, you could still actually get snow. So March is sort of like the month where that would be going on, not January and February, but it doesn't even register that they just went a whole winter with no snow. Yeah, just whoa. People that grew up here, if they have any brain matter left, go, what did we just experience? Thermonuclear weapons. They were asked to do it during the winter. Do you not pay attention to? Maybe you don't. If they shut me off, then again, it has to be done until this ends. Yeah, it's difficult for me because I know that God has his entire thing he's doing. It's just ensuring a total and complete extinction. He even discussed, this is how sick people are, okay? He even discussed people trying to leave a kill zone and ending up right in another kill zone, just like I was talking about. A complete and absolute defiance. I know it's amazing, but it's just like anything else, like a complete dominant stance. And the only way that I felt God was explaining it is so they know it's a complete kill zone. There's not a possible way after what happened with the DTA office and everything. And just, can you see me on YouTube? Like if you're out in Quincy right now, for example, because it was Quincy housing in the shelter again, if you're out there, right, is am I visible on YouTube? I know you almost like you can't cause like I don't want these people flipping out and trying to storm into a fucking house. They're that insane. You go, what the fuck are you on? That's not giving her housing and an income to live. Because they can't storm into the offices. That's what I'm telling you, because that fucks up everybody. So it's a standstill. And it's almighty. They were told repeatedly, you're not getting a war. People aren't tearing down federal offices on this land piece and shit. You just go, it's a transition plan that's going into effect. You have a population of dying off primates that aren't allowed to free themselves, 2020. And they will stay contained within the system. Okay. And it was supposed to be a one card system, but everybody's got to have some kind of card. Some people have a debit card. Some people have Social Security that's like a debit card. Some people have those EBT cards with cash on them. I know you go, see how you increased it from $92 a month to $401? That could be increased to the same amount that Social Security gives. And you people will not stop fucking with it. So you're being completely put down in that transition plan will go into effect. Know this. And your dominant stance, just know this, upon your death, it's going to happen. So all you're doing is killing yourselves, which I'm glad you are. I'm glad you're killing yourselves because I have to be able to live on planet Earth. I'm sorry it's come to that, but I'm not sorry. It's been 13 years. So you people are being put down and put into a fucking grave. And then those cards, if that would be the easiest way to do it, since we already have a fucking card, will be the same as a Social Security card. We're going to stop this fucking madness about Social Security and DTA and shutting off and mailing things to the wrong thing. That accomplishes nothing. You have profound morbid mental insanity. Okay? Nothing is confusing. It's because you're mentally insane. That's why everything is confusing and complicated. That's why they have a card at a food pantry, because it's clearly not complicated. You had a major disaster. You have a pandemic on your land piece of brain disease. You have an aging population. Remember all that nonsense about what are we going to do? The baby boomers are aging and all this. That's your answer. fucking Christ, God. God is going to make them do it. Believe me, you just go, whoa. But in order for God to make them do it, they had to do this first. That's what I'm explaining to you. They had to do this first. Not they meant to do it. They had to do this first because they're killing off their entire species. They can never stop God's plan. It's almighty. Like, yeah, just you have to understand how remedial these brains are and the need for them to be put in the fucking ground finally. It's an exact date given prophecy. It's pages of science. Okay? It's called a prophet. They don't believe in any of that, or they're a prophet. They're going to have a prophet war. Yes, please do make a prophecy and then watch it not fucking happen. Just like Barbara Kent. Please do it. Start writing the shit down. All right, I gotta do my stuff. I gotta shut this off.